recording, so sorry about that. We just started recording. But we're opening up the Ranger indicator. We set it for Eastern time because that's where I am. You set it where you want. We also set it for Australia time. And Australia is at 8 o'clock at night Eastern time. When I say time, it's going to be Eastern time. So it starts at 8 o'clock at night, and with the Ranger indicator, it automatically presets for this. Now you can come down through here and you can change all your naval times, your fibs, or whatever you want. You can change the labels on them and make them the way you want them to appear here. That's in another video. I'm not going to bore you through all that. But you can change it the way you want. If you would like to have the way I have mine set up, send me an email based off of, if you know my email, send it to me. If not, you can do so right here. And if we go to my website, go up here to contact, and fill this in and just put down there that you want my Ranger settings. That's all you got to do. Send that to me and I will email them back to you. And I may just go ahead and post my settings in the Ranger indicator on the website. That way you can see it. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to trade the bot with the Ranger indicator. And right now we're running on sim, and right now I would not have allowed it to go into short, but it's just running. So I'm going to show you how that works, and also how the cross indicator works, how you can use another indicator with the Ranger to help you with the direction and possibly get you in more trades. Reading the messages here, is this trading or barbecue webinar? It's a barbecue webinar. It's all about the barbecue. Always about the barbecue. What time does the barbecue start? Well, tonight it started at 8 o'clock. And which one opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? None of them. Australia opens at 8 o'clock. And then we have Hong Kong at 9:30. London at 3 a.m. US Open at 9:30. India is at 30 minutes after midnight Eastern Time. Those are all times. So if you are on a different one, you put it up here and you click what you want, and it will automatically set the times where it needs to be. So I've dumbed this indicator down to make it to where about anybody, as long as you know where you live and what you want to trade, it will put the times in. It's up to you to put in the levels that you want to show up on the chart. So, and again, I'll post these on the I'll do screenshots and show you how I have all my settings done, and maybe it'll help you out. So right now, this bot, again, you would not be letting it take a long or a short here. What you would be doing is coming over here and turning the short off because it's bullish right now. So when it's bullish, you turn the short off and it will only take longs. I let this one take that just so you could see it, what it would do. Now we've got this on one contract. And this bot will take longs or shorts, depending on if it's green, it's long. If it's red, it's short. So today, me and Brian, we run this bot and talked about it and was letting it go through. And it made like $5,000 in 20 minutes. I think we started at, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, I think it was 3:40 we started. And we stopped at 4 o'clock. And we just let it trade ever how it wanted. Now we did move the stops accordingly. Like right here, we wouldn't have a stop all the way up here when right here is really where we should have exited. 3:26, he said. So we started at 3:26 and we stopped it at 4 o'clock exactly. And it was like, I think it was like $4,800 or $4,900. So call it $5,000 it made on 4 contracts in a matter of 34 minutes. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Now, this bot is not a bot that you would just let run all the time because you need to watch it. And it does have other times here, like if I wanted to turn, if, say this particular one, if it wanted to enter the trade here, well, right now we've got all of our times off. But if we turn these on like that, all of these would have to be green with this green in order to make a trade. So if these 3 are green, and then it turns green here, it would enter a trade. So let's say right here it was not green, and it went up, and then right up here it turned red, but these 3 were green, and then it turned green, it would enter a trade right here, and it would keep on going. So just to give you an idea, if it did enter a trade, it would be right there. And let's just say that it got up here to right there. That's $380 for tonight, which is pretty good money, especially if you're putting 10 contracts behind it. You got $3,800, and it's pretty good. So right now we would not be in this trade. We would have already exited. I put a high stop and stuff so that we could just kind of play with it and see what we'll do. The settings that I'm running on this are not settings that I would recommend you to run. The only thing I did was just put some stuff in there just to show you how it actually works. So right now you could actually hit close all. And if we hit close all, it would exit this trade. Now, right now it's showing that it lost $203 on that trade. But if we turn all of these off, because we're not doing the times right now, but if we turn this on to where it only, well, since we're going up here, we hit that high, it will probably end up coming back down. Because if you look back at your trade right here, you've got, it looks like it's trying to come down a little bit. So closing out that short was probably a bad idea. But if we come back here, and when this crosses and turns red like it did here, that will enter a short. And when it enters a short, it'll just keep on going. And it will not exit until the stop gets hit. And the stop, I think I've got a real high stop of maybe 60 ticks or something like that. And so, which is what, 30, or no, the 15 points. So, but what you would do is as it goes down, you would monitor that stop just to make sure that where it should go. So, but there is ways that you can go in the back end, and I'll show you that. We edit strategy, come over here. Here is the bot, and this is settings that it has. You can change like the cross has different moving averages that you can do. You've got I've got it set on an 821 EMA, and you can do SMA filter, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but you can change a lot of things. You can even put like time frames that you wanted to trade. So like on the where it showed 5, 10, and 15 minute over there, you can change that to whatever time frame that you want. So you can do that as well. You can also come down and do your general stop. I've got it on a trail stop, but you can do a bot exit. So in other words, it will enter when it turns green and it will exit when it turns red. So you can do that as well. Fixed stop, where if you just wanted to kick out at a certain time and go from there. You can do a break even, so when it gets up so far, it'll automatically bring the stop up. You can do profit targets with the ATR. You can do tick. You can actually pick as many as you want. So if that one's 8, you could put in whatever ticks that you want, like say 4 contracts here, and maybe you want 3 there, whichever. So you can change all that. And then you have a session P&L. A session P&L is when it hits a profit target that you want. Say you want to make $1,000 a day. When it hits $1,000, it will close out the trade and pocket the money and never turn back on until the next session. Same with the loss. If you don't want to lose more than $500, at $500 it will shut itself off. So you don't get in trouble here. Time filters, if you wanted to run at certain times of the day, you can run it up to 4 different times that you want. So maybe you want to run it from 9 to 10 in the morning, then you want to run it from 3 to 4 in the afternoon, and maybe 6 to 8 at night. You can make those changes as you want. And then down through here, this is just the general settings. It will also shut off. I've got 930 seconds. That means it will shut off 930 seconds before the end of the day. NinjaTrader, if you don't have the margin, if you are trading after 4:45 Eastern time, then they will close out your trade and charge you $50. With this one, the bot shuts itself off at 30 seconds before 40:45. So that helps you out. So the bot is, you can really change it up and do different things. All you do is turn it on. A bot, this particular bot, I would not turn it on and just let it run because you can actually lose some money at different times when you go into chop. Now, when you're not doing chop, just to give you an idea, like today, we've got this on a 50 tick just to make it change because it's after hours. A 50 tick on ES, like on this one here, you would have entered a trade at, it would have actually been on this candle here. And then time it comes down, let's say you got out right at the top. They're $795, one trade, and that is from 6:15 to 6:29. So you're looking 14 minutes was $795. So, but this is a bot, like I said, this particular one, we've got several bots, about a dozen. But this particular bot, you do not want to just let it run. You want to kind of manage it, and as long as you can see what direction you're going, you could unpause it, or you could turn like your shorts off and longs off, or whatever you want to do here. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. But it is a good bot when you know that you want to trade the cross with the Ranger. And I'm going to show you that here in a second, how that will work. But if you know that you want to trade the cross and you think it's going to go long, you go ahead and turn it on to where you have longs on only. And then immediately, as soon as this turns green and the bar closes, it will go in a long. And then you can manage your stop where you want and your profit target. If you want to close it out, you just click right there and it will close it out. If you don't want it to trade, you just hit pause, but you can still watch it. And if you think that it's going to go in the direction you want, you just unpause it. So this is not a self-run bot. It is one that you want to manage. And it's just, it kind of goes along with what we're going to talk about tonight. So right now we have, actually we could have taken a trade there. This one right here, I'm going to go over exactly how this would actually work. So I've had many calls, emails, and so forth, and I think that I personally describe exactly how you should enter your trades and so forth. But let's just talk about this. Let's take the bot off so we can just see the Ranger indicator. So on this particular one, this yellow line is the open range high, which is come from right there on that wick. So our entry is going to be one tick above it. So on this particular one, you would have an entry right here on this red line. Get it on there. For some reason, it's moving kind of slow. But it would be on this red line. That's where your entry would be. Once price comes up to here, you go ahead and bring it up to where you have about roughly 1 point or so. Just as long as you can get break even. That's all you're really concerned about. It's not about doing 1.5 point or whatever. It's just getting it above so you don't lose $300 on a stop. I would rather, me personally, I would rather break even and it pull down and take off as it to pull down and stop me out at 300 and take off, or just keep on going. I want to protect my profit. That's my strategy. Doesn't mean you have to play it that way, but that's what I do. I prefer to not lose money, and I'm pretty tight with money anyway, and I don't want to lose it. So on this one, we would enter right here. Once it pushed through this one and then went up to that one, we would bring our stop up to here. And NinjaTrader is very, very slow tonight for some reason. It's not moving very good. So I would bring my stop up to about 1 tick or so below this fib line. Once it pushes through this one and goes on up, I want it to hit the next fib line before I move my stop up to here. And then once it pushes through this level and goes up to the zone, I'm going to go right up here. That's just not working real good. Sorry, guys. And then once it goes up here, and then we're going to open there, if it pushes up through this level, then I'm going to bring it to the top of the bottom of this zone. So if I do that, I'm going to have a profit because it's going to get stopped out on this candle here, if not this one of the two. Then I'm going to be $150 profit. Well, $150 doesn't sound like a lot when you're trying to make $1,000, but you know what? If you do $150 there and you do $150 later, then it will actually work out pretty good. I'm going to, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to reboot my Ninja, and I don't know why it's moving so slow. So bear with me here 1 second. It's not moving. I restarted it before we started. Won't take me a second here. It's rebooting right now. If anybody's got any questions in the meantime, shoot them. Right now is a good time for me to answer. So, I do not know why this is not working really good. Alright, so I've got, maybe it's my computer. So this one right here, I would be taking profit there of $150. Yours is slow too, so maybe it's NinjaTrader in general. I mean, mine is just creeping. I don't know. Seems to be working a little better now. Let's see that. Yeah, it seems to be working better now. So just a fresh restart. I restarted it before the webinar. So yes, you could have made this extra money, but don't be greedy. Just try to secure your profit. A lot of people want to just say, well, I have to have a 1-to-8 ratio, or I'm not going to, make the money. I have to have the 1-to-5 or the 1-to-3. I don't. I just want to take profit, and I'm willing to take less profit now and be happy and be out of the trade, as to maybe pull back and lose half of the profit I could have had and then go up. So this is my strategy. It's not your strategy. It's my strategy. So you trade how you want. So on this one, if you had a 1-to-5, you would be right up here, and this come up, you would actually be almost stopped out here where you could have taken $150 here. So on this one, you would end up entering another trade here. You made your 150 here, and then you would do the same thing here. So once this pushed up to here and then went to there, then your stop would be here. So when you're watching this, get a little bit closer. So when we broke through that yellow, we do not make another trade until after the price comes down, comes underneath this yellow line. When it comes underneath, you have your profit or your target, your buy limit right here immediately. You don't wait for it to come up here. When it's down here, you put it up here. Now the way you do that is you come up here. Actually, you want to come up higher. You want to come up way up here, and you want to hit your buy limit, and then you want to grab it and bring it down to your green line. So right there's your green line, so there's where your buy limit is. Now right now, since the price is up here, if this would come down and touch it, it would enter a trade. So you got to make sure that your price is down below your yellow line. You come up high. You don't want to do it right here, because the price starts moving, it'll error you out. So you do it up here, then you grab it, and then you bring it down here and click again. That way you're not going to get an error on having the buy limit below where it should be, or right at the price, or whichever. One person asked today, and I don't know if I can even find a place that it did this. I'm going to try. So bear with me here 1 second. This is to ask a question. I guess this right here would probably work. Actually, it was yesterday when it was working like that. So let's go to, I think it was RTY yesterday, and it was in the afternoon. Right here, there's the perfect example. This was what was going on yesterday. And we're going to get back to some other things, but I want to talk about this. I want to answer some questions for people. How do you trade this? We're going up, then we're coming back down. We're going up, coming back down, and back and forth. You trade it the same way that you trade any other candle. This is very, very simple. So we're going to go ahead and make a stop, or we'll call it an entry, really. We'll call it a stop. So right now, let's see what we've got this set at. I think it's a 20. we're on a 20 tick. So this one is actually set up for RTY. When this price comes up and then pushes up, you immediately put your buy order in here. When price is up here, your buy order goes in. Your buy order would have hit right here, right on that green line because this red candle. And as it comes through the levels, you go ahead and, when it breaks through this white one and goes to this pink one, you put your stop there. When it goes through this one and goes down to here, you go ahead and bring your stop down to here. When it goes down to here, you bring your stop to right here. So guess what happened? You went from losing money to making money. So on this one, your entry would have been right here, and your exit would have been right there, roughly $20. No money, okay? But you didn't lose $100. Now, when this comes back up and goes back up there, what do? You put another entry right here. Once you put an entry there, then you go ahead and move your stop the same way. When it broke through there and went to this one, you have your stop to right here. When it comes through this one and then through this one, you bring your stop down to here. Whenever it goes through, if it went all the way down to here, you'd bring it to there. But since it just went to right there, you leave your stop there. So how much do you make there? Very little, but you know what? You didn't lose money. So now you're at $10. Only thing you're trying to do is, if you get this kind of chop, is you're trying to make sure that you don't lose $100 every trade per contract. If you're trading 10 contracts, that's $1,000 every time. Now, a lot of people don't want to bring their stop down because they don't want to get stopped out in case it takes off. Me, I'd rather get stopped out and take my no loss as to go ahead and risk losing money. I don't want to lose money. I'm cheap. I do not want to lose money. So what I do is I make sure that I'm within to where I can at least break even. Maybe if that's the way you feel, maybe you just go ahead and bring it to right here to where you're a couple of ticks away from where your entry is. You may lose, 1 or 2 ticks, but you're not going to lose that much money compared to 20 ticks. So 20 ticks is going to be $100 a contract. So you go ahead and keep moving this down. Now, if you had left this, say, right up here, to where your break even +1, if that comes back and hits it real quick, you're not going to exit out at 1 tick. You're going to exit out with a loss plus your commission. So you have to decide yourself where that should be. I personally like to come down, maybe half a point or a point on RTY. That way I can go ahead and not lose money. I'd rather lose the trade as to lose money. On this one, we come down, then we come back up. Maybe you left your stop up here and you were, taking a chance on, trying to get this target. Well, in this case, it would have paid off. When this come down, maybe you had your target right across the top of this candle here, and you left it there. And as it kept on going, when you come into a zone, you need to protect that zone. So when it pushed all the way down here, I would be right there, maybe 1 or 2 ticks above, but I would be to where that zone, because that zone will be tested a lot. And then if it comes up to here, and then we start shooting down, I would bring it down to here. So I'm looking at my different levels to find out where my stop is going to go. Now, one person today told me that it moves so fast that they cannot, get their stop moved down. So what you do is when you are, and I'm going to open this up and just say a sell limit, and we're just going to put one right here. We're going to pretend this is our stop, okay? So let's just say that we've got our stop at right here. And as this comes down, we're already going to be clicked on it. Now, when we're moving, we can have this all the way down here. Our stop is still up here where that blue is. Even though I'm down here, my stop is still up there. With it being up there, when this starts shooting down, I'm going to have my stop already down here ready to go. So as soon as that big candle right here goes down, I'm going to go ahead and have my stop right here ready to go, and then I can just, boom, click it, and I'm already there. So I'm already ready for it to go there. When I got it there, I'm gonna move it to my next level. When I move it to my next level and that price goes to where I want, boom, I'm right there. So I'm ahead of the game. If you actually wait till where it gets where you want, and then come up and have to click and then have to come down, it may be too late. You need to be there before it gets there. So right now, on this particular order, this red candle is not down there, but let's just say that green line, it's not a support line, but let's just say that it is. I'm already going to be there, and then when that thing drops down and goes down below, boom, I'm going to be there. That way I'm securing my profit. Now let's just say that we did close out there. So we would actually be on the green line or the entry, and we would come down to here, $100. I'll take $100 on a trade any day. I'm not too good for $100 trade. $100, and especially if you're doing 10 contracts, that's $5,000 trade. You're gonna make $1,000 there. I mean, it's all in the realm of what you're trading. So you figure $100 a contract, that's a lot of money. So that's how I move my stops, and I go through this quite a bit. But some people still don't really understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Again, this is my strategy. It doesn't mean it has to work for you. You can do something else that works for you. I'm all about securing profit. I'm a scalper, and it is the hardest thing in the world for me to get in a trade. Like, let's try to find one here. Let's see, is that, yeah, right here. It is the hardest thing in the world for me to get in a short right here, or even over here. So this one right here, it went up, and when it come back down, we're going to be in an entry. It is hard for me to hold all the way through here when I know that I could have profit down here. It's hard for me. I struggle with it daily. So I'm all about, I will take a little bit and get out of the trade and be perfectly happy, even though like today on NQ it dropped forever. Today would have been a day for the person that is good about holding to make a lot of money. I like to get my money and get out. At the end of the day, I am cash. I have nothing holding over. I don't do options anymore, nothing like that. I want my money right now. I would rather take $300 right now as $600 5 hours later. I'll take my $300 right now. So that's kind of how I play, but that doesn't mean it's right for you. Now on this one, if we'd got in right there, we would have got stopped out there and we could have had money. So the person that's holding long is going to get stopped out right there, and then they got stopped out again here, and then they entered there, and then they went long. In the long run, maybe they make more money than me. But I tell you what, I'm smiling when I take my profit here, and then when this one comes down, I'm going to keep on holding, and then when it breaks down to right here, I might get stopped out there and lose this, but I'm happy. I made money. As long as I can make, if I can double my money per day on my trade, so on RTY, it's $500 a trade. If I can make $500 per day per contract, I'm happy. You trade 10 contracts, that's $5,000. Where are you going to make $5,000 at a job? Most jobs won't pay you $500 a day. And you can make $500 every single day you do this right here. And it's just simple. It's easy. Like on this day right here, let's just go through the trade real fast. This was yesterday. Actually, I tell you what, let's do today because today was one of those abnormal days. So let's go ahead and do today. And because today did not do as well as what it should because it just sold off. Right here. So we only had a couple of trades on RTY today. Let's see, we had... Oh wait, I gotta change it back to... I gotta change it to the US Open. Let's see, right there. right here is the U.S. Open. And this is today. This is what you would have made today. So RTY, and I haven't even looked at RTY because I traded ENQ all day. RTY would have entered a trade from right there. And it broke through this one, went down to there, so we would have got stopped out on this one. Actually, we would have got stopped out on this one. $110. Not very much, but hey, I'll take it. Then we come up here. We actually entered a trade right there. And we would have, let's see. Actually, I'm sorry, that's the wrong place. We would have entered a trade right here. It went through, but it didn't break through, and then pulled back, and then it broke through, so our stop would be here, and then when it broke through, our stop would be there, so we would have been there. It's $150. This one right here, we would have lost money because we went up. We didn't go up far enough. It's only 13.9, 13, so we would have lost money here. This is a $100 trade we would have lost. And then this one, we would have entered right there, and it would have actually stopped out right there. So $90. This one would have just barely, because once it went up there, I would have been about right there. So it's about $25. Just, it covers the cost. So just in those trades, there's 4 trades. There's one loser. 150 minus 100 is 50, so 140, $165. Not much money, but hey, it's money. This one right here, we would have entered and lost money. So now we're up about $45. I missed some trades. Where did I miss? I made this one. I didn't add that one. That's what it was. So this one's 110. I lost 100 there, so there's $10 profit, 160. That would be 250, 275. And actually right there, I lost money on that one. No, that's a sin. So it'd be 275, the profit. And then this one right here, I would have lost $100, so it'd been 175 profit. This one, we would have entered right there. It come down, we would have actually stopped out on that one. And I forgot how much I said. Add 110 to whatever I just said. I don't remember what I said. And this one right here, we actually did not go through the yellow line, so that is not a trade. I personally would have entered a trade about right here because we went up to it and we pulled down. But the strategy is not to enter. It has to go above the yellow line before you enter. I personally would have entered a trade here, and I probably would have made, let's see, realistically, and I'm not going to count this in the trades. I probably would have entered right here, and if that went down, I would have actually exited right there, so it's $180. But we can't count that because that's not the strategy. But when it goes up real close to that and starts dropping, get in. I take it back. I would get in. You get in and do whatever you want. So now we have another one of those things that the person was talking about today. Well, this one, you would actually get in a trade on this red candle, and you would kind of come down if this one's right there, so that is 97.6, so you're 99. So I would just put enough in there just to cover, when this comes down, I would just want to break even. That's all I'm looking to do. As far as an exact number that you would go, if you go down a couple points, I would want to be up not 1 point because 1 point's too close, but I'd want to be up about a half a point. A half a point is there's 10 ticks in a point on RTY. So with this one, I would go up about a half a point or so, maybe not that far, just enough to cover a pullback and go short on it. If you look at this, you can see, and we went over this channel last night, but you can see this channel going up. Now, do I draw these channels when I'm trading the Ranger? You bet your butt I do. I definitely do. Because I want to see, I'm a charter. I like to look and see where direction's going. Would I have entered this trade? The strategy says to enter it. So, yes, I would have. Once it goes up, I've got my buy order in. Now, if it is a strong, bullish run, kind of like this green one right here, I would not get in. But when it's like this right here, yes, I do get in. And because it could easily just pull right back down. And if you don't get in, you're going to lose a lot. But if you get in, the most you can lose is $100 a contract. So on this one, I would have been $20 there. But when this is going sideways like this, I'm not going to get in. Now, if you did, you would have got out on this candle. And then when it went up, you would have got in right there. And then again, you would have been about $10 on this one here. So there's nothing wrong with getting in. You're just going to be paying commission. You're going to be lucky to break even. You might lose 10, 20 bucks or maybe a little more. Is that worth the risk for a $1,000 short? Yeah, it is. And then we got out on this one right here. Actually, it would be this green one. We went up. And let's just say we got in right there. This one right here, we would not have enough time to get out on that one. It would come up here. And then when this one come down, we would again be right there at $10. So when this starts coming down, you want to hurry up and get your stop down here to where you can at least break even or thereabout. And then we would come over here. This goes straight on up. When it's going up like this right here, I want to see price go up. You might have got in right here, and if you did, you would have stopped out at $100. So you'd be down $70 on this trade on one contract. So the strategy is to get in. Once it goes up, you have your stop order or your buy order in right here. I would have probably been in that order, and because that is the strategy. This one right here, you would get in, it would kind of come down, and you would probably get out about $10 again. This is just going sideways. It's going to wear you out in commissions and trades, but that's the strategy. This one right here, you're going to go up. When you come back down, you come down to here, you go through it, and then you go through this one, and you go through that one. Our main strategy is to go to red. That's your pre-market low. But whenever this comes down through it, I would put my stop right there, and I would be up $160. So was all this worth it? You end up making money, but would you have been better off to wait? Yes. But can you wait and take the chance on this really taking off? No. The strategy, you got to stick to the strategy and trade the strategy. You can't predict what's going to happen. That's why you have the Ranger indicator. You have the Ranger indicator. It has a strategy. You stick to it. Every day the Ranger indicator makes money. There's not a day that goes by this does not make money. So stick to the strategy. So on this one, you would have actually made 160. You would have lost 100 or 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 is what you would have made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades. So that's going to be $24. So you would have actually made what is that? $74. If I did my math right, $74 you'd have made here. Would I trade this for $74? Absolutely not. But you don't know that it's going to do that. It could easily just tank. Maybe it did it on this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. You don't know. You've got to play the strategy. So on this one, we saw that it was going up through here. And we went over this drawing tool last night. And matter of fact, I'll tell you what, if anybody wants the drawing tool, I'll put it on the tonight for the 20% off if y'all want it. Because we are using it. Any indicator or whatever that I use in a live training, I will discount it. That's fair. So this one right here, we held it to there, and then we broke out. So then we go ahead and find where we actually left. So we actually left the channel right here. So the only thing we have to do is just drag it over. Once we drag this over, then we're in another channel right here. Now we broke out of this channel. When we break out of that channel, then we come back over here. This is so easy to use, guys. And the only thing you do, I can't on this one because of where we are, but you take this line right here and you put it very far away from price. And you let the price decide where the channel is going to be. And as soon as you see the channel actually working to where it's working good, we got one right here, we got one there, one here, and we're staying along that. That is a good indication this is our channel. Once we break out of that channel, we bring this up to right here, and then we just drag this one right on over, and it finds our new channel. Right there's our new channel. So the price was not here when we did this. It was actually right in here. So we drag this all the way over until we find where the channel is actually hitting, and then we bring this back to that point and leave it. Now once we break the channel, we go ahead and move this over until it barely moves out of that channel right there, and then we just go ahead and bring this back, and this shows our channel. It's the easiest channel drawing tool that you'll ever use. It works really well. So we covered how do we handle trades when it is along the entry. You know, when we're ranging right here, and it's going to happen a lot because why? Anybody want to guess why? I'll pause and talk about something else and let some people answer. But why would a lot of buyers and sellers be right here? I'm going to wait on y'all to answer before I answer it. So on this one, once we get to that point, we can keep on drawing, and as soon as this breaks out of that channel, which would actually be right there, this is the first one that breaks out, then we go ahead and bring this back. This side over here, we just go ahead and bring it over. Now we got a new channel here. Easiest channel drawing tool you'll ever use. It's very, very good. So, and again, 20% off tonight. On this one, that's very good. Then we have later today, we actually get the trade we want. So I'm not going to show you every little thing, but right there's our entry. We come down, we break through there. And once we break through here, my exit is going to be right there. So it's $160. And then right here, we did not get this based on the way I trade. But we did get an entry right here. So we go ahead and enter on this red candle where it came down. We went down. I didn't break through. We didn't hit our stop up here. And then when it broke through, went through that part, come down. Then, you know, once we break through, we're going to bring it right down to there. So there's $150. Once we break through 2 levels, that's where we want to be. Then we come up here. We did not break through. We did break through here, so our entry would be here. Our stop's up here. We never hit it. We never hit a place where we could take profit. And then we just kept on going. This one right here just kept going. We got to right here, and then it pulled back. You may or may not have had a stop there. I would leave my stop here at that point. When it comes down and then keeps on going, my stop would have been right there. So there's 250. So I don't remember how much all this was, cause it is open range is one answer. You're right on the target of what I'm looking for, but why would all the buyers and sellers be right here? Tell me why all the buyers and sellers are on this yellow line. What is significant about this yellow line that makes a lot of times chop? Be more specific. So this one came on down and hit that. Did we miss all of this run? Absolutely. Would I be upset that I missed all this? Somewhat. But you know what? You got to play the strategy. How do you know that it's not going to come up? You have to protect that profit. Now, if you would have held on to this instead of $250, I mean, look how it sold off today. Actually, I don't know why. That is... Ninja Trader has a really bad problem with that. I can delete Fibonacci's and stuff, and they will just magically appear. So this one actually came all the way down to right here. So $250 is what I took. Well, I didn't trade it, but that's what I would have taken. But it actually went to $3,050. Would I rather have $3,050 than $250? Absolutely. But you have to play the strategy. You gotta do what works for you. Now, some people are looking for a risk and reward. Exactly right, Brian. Support and resistance level. That's the exact answer. Let's see here. But isn't there a way to re-enter after you sell your first trade so you can continue to trade the trend? Can you use the mover or PF indicator? That's where we're going, Jim. That's exactly where we're going. So that today is the perfect day to talk about it, and that's why I'm doing it. So this one right here went up. We took our 250, but you know what? This could have easily reversed and went right back up. You have to learn how to secure your profit. If you don't, you're going to just constantly lose trades. You'll be up $4, $5, $6, $800 and turn right around and make $100, and then tell me you're not going to be upset. So now we're going to talk about how do we handle something like this. Well, for one, you're going to have your drawing tool. So let's go to a smaller time frame or a larger time frame just so I can see this better. So we are going to draw this time frame as the price goes. Now you got to remember our indicate our line is over here, and we go ahead and stay on that until we actually get a decent channel. So this one right here, our channel would be right there. So as long as we stay in this channel, we're okay. When we break out of this channel is when we want to go out or get out rather. So as long as we're staying in this channel and it's going up and down like this, then we go ahead and just keep moving our stops. So we go from a higher high to a lower high, or a lower high to lower high, I guess you'd say. And this one we will draw right there is our higher high, and then when we come down and we pull back, there is a lower low or lower high right here, and then there's a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then we come down, and actually this one will be a lower high, and then this one will be a lower high, so we would stop out there. So if we do it that way, then we are looking to profit $1,490 over $250. So what if we don't have this channel? How do we maybe do it a little easier way? Is there something color coded that we could use to where we could actually see? So I'm going to leave this right here, and then we're going to go in and I'm going to add, you can add any indicator you want. Just about any of them will work. Actually, it's this right here. So I'm going to add the cross indicator. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. The cross indicator works really well. And let's just say we're on a 1 minute chart, just so we can see it better. So this one is an indicator that if it is green, it's long. And if it is red, it's short. So in this particular case, we actually got in right here because that's our target, our entry. And we would not get out. This thing was red all the way down to here. So we would actually get out at basically the same place based on this indicator as watching the higher highs and lower lows, or lower highs and lower lows. So it's basically the same place. So you could either draw your lines and draw it out, or you can have an indicator like this that just says, hey, if it's red, I'm going to stay in. I don't have to worry about counting lines and pullbacks and all that. I'm just going to, if it's red, I short. When it's green, I get out. Now that makes it a lot easier just to visually be able to see this. So if you're in here and you're looking at this one, you see all these candles up and down. You're not looking at your levels. You're just looking at red. So when you trade the cross with the Ranger, then you're going to make, really better decisions to stay in. Once it turns green, which would be this candle here, when it closed and opened there, that turned this green. So you would actually exit right there at 1415 over 1490. Now the 1490, you had to keep on watching to what you're doing. With this one, you just wait until it turned color. So once it turns the color, then you go ahead and get out. So that's a good way to trade it. You can also do, Jim mentioned the Profit Finder. Profit Finder works really well on this. And let's see here. Go back. My allergies are acting up. Let's see here. I had a bottle of wine before this too. That helped me. Let's see here. Profit Finder indicator right there. And we're going to add that. So this Profit Finder indicator, actually I meant to take that one off. There's a lot of you that have the Profit Finder indicator. If you use the Profit Finder, as long as it's red, just stay in the trade. But see how we turn green there? The crossbot or the cross indicator never turned green. It stayed green all the way down to here. The Profit Finder works really well, and you can decide the Profit Finder, if the candle gets above the Profit Finder, that's our exit. That's how we use that. You can decide at that point, should I get out or not? We still have this zone here. So as long as we have a zone, more than likely, we didn't hit it, more than likely this might pull back and then slam right into the zone and then keep on going. So when you look at the Ranger indicator is perfect to find where it's going, whether it be in a support resistance line, being a previous day, a pre-market, if it is a fib level, if it's a zone, or whichever. The Ranger indicator does excellent doing that. So by doing that, it will actually show where you're kind of going, even though your candles are just wild over here. But if you watch your Profit Finder, or the SpyBot Mover works real well with it, or if you watch the cross, any kind of a moving average type indicator will work. Now, the Profit Finder is not a moving average. It's a lot more high tech than that. But the Profit Finder, our exit is if it wicks over top of these candles, or even like one or two ticks over, is usually where we take profit. But then again, we have our zone here, so maybe you go ahead and hold off on it and you let it come on through. So right here is where the Profit Finder will turn green, which would actually be at the top of this candle. But the Profit Finder, you actually take profit right above it. Would you have taken it here? Maybe not. Would you have taken it here? Definitely by the same place that this is. So the Profit Finder will actually work the same as the cross indicator, pretty close to the Profit Finder or the cross indicator. But when you add a Profit Finder to the Ranger, it's deadly. It's deadly. You come down here, and let's just say that you got out right here, just like Jim was talking about. You got out right there, and then it turned red here, but you've got this zone, so I wouldn't do anything unless you get below the zone. This zone is very, very powerful. Right here, it is just ranging back and forth. Last night, we talked about chop zones. So on chop zones, and I'm not going to go over all that tonight, that's yesterday's video, but the chop zone is actually really right there. That's our chop zone. So what do we do from there? Once we come out of that chop zone and we're below this zone, and our Profit Finder is red, or our cross is red, maybe you get in there. The Profit Finder, the way it does is when it comes down and you have these floating candles and it pulls back into the Profit Finder, then you short. Maybe you short there, maybe you short here, maybe you short there. I think the best place to short would probably be right below the zone. That way, yeah, and not really the zone per se, but this candle here. So my place to short would be here. So if I did short there, I would be looking to go right there, and then I would play this out. Again, it comes down. I would have my profit or my stop right here once we got below that zone, because I would not want it to go up and do what it did. But maybe you just held on to it because you're already in quite profit and you're waiting on this pullback. Once you get the pullback, then you go down. My profit target would have been right here. So there's $620. I would rather take $620 right here as to possibly take profit up here of $285. I'm about securing profit. That's how I trade. I'm a scalper. I just can't get away from it. When I try to hold it, I end up losing more money, and I get frustrated because I could have taken $1,000 and instead I take $400, and I'm upset. Sometimes I take $100. So I just learned that for me, the best strategy is to get that profit, and if it does reverse like how it did here, I can get in right here. Now on this one, I lost potential profit from there to right here of $360. If I would have stayed in, from down there and kept going, $360 is where I've been. Now, personally, if I was trading this on my own, once this broke through, my profit would be right there because I would have a stop above that zone. So there's 1675. So now on this one, instead of 360, I'm $185. I'm willing to give up $185 to not give up potentially this right here. So I have weighted out what's best for me, not for you, but what's best for me is I like to secure my spots, zones especially. When you get through a zone, you want to have your stop right above it because that zone is full of supply and demand zone. That can easily rage real quick. So if you have your stop right there, if it comes up to it and gets it and then drops out, that's okay for me. I took my profit. I'm okay with it. Anytime you put your stop in place, you have to be happy with where that is. Is it better to use minutes or ticks? It depends on what you're trading. If you're trading the Ranger on itself and not an indicator with the Ranger, RTY, I will trade a 50 or 100 tick, depending on how fast it's moving. Believe it or not, Russell, the RTY, is very good to trade on a 50 tick. I know it sounds very low, but the way I trade, I want to see price. I don't want to see one big candle and not know where it is. I want to see what's going on inside that candle, and the 50 tick allows me to do that. If I am trading, like right now we're on a 1 minute, if I'm trading this profit finder with the Ranger, then a 50 tick is too much. If I put this on a 50 and then look back at it, it's too much noise in here. I can't trade one of these indicators with the Ranger on a 50 tick. I just can't do it. If I'm just looking for levels, a 50 tick is fine for me. If I put this on, say, a 200 tick, then a 200 tick is okay, but I think a 1 minute is probably on RTY, not NQ, but on RTY, I think is pretty good. The ticks, I like a tick chart, except in the evening. The evening, it's hard to trade a tick unless you go very small. Sometimes I will, and if you look up here, I've got 10 tick, 20 tick, 50 tick. Right now, if we do a 10 tick on tonight's volume, you can see that you can get some trades in here. So on this one, you would have got in, say you're trading this profit finder, you would have got in and say you got it right there, there's $160 right there. Now if we put this over on a 50 tick, you would not make that money. That trade's not there. It's non-existent. And then if you put it on a 1 minute, a 1 minute, yeah, you could have traded that, but instead of 160, you wouldn't have got in until right there, and you would have got out probably right there. So 160 just went to 90. So it depends on the volume that you have. If you have very light volume, like right now, the Russell does not trade very well at night. And if you put that on a 20 tick, sometimes I will trade a 20. But when this is coming down, I'm going to be chasing, on a small tick, I'm going to be chasing my candles. So when this comes down, then I'm going to be taking about $140. Well, I'll be getting in up here. $170 is where I would get on a 20 tick, and that's chasing the candles. If I go to a 10 tick, a 10 tick would put me in the trade about right here, and so it would be the same money, the 10 tick to the 20 tick. Now, if you look over here right now, you can see that it's not really moving much. the Russell moves very slow at night. It's hard to trade. So you have to go to a smaller time frame to do it. Sometimes I will trade seconds. I'll trade a 15 second if I look at that. So on a 15 second, this one would have got me in right there, and it would have got me out probably right there. It's $200 on a 15 second. So the difference between a second and a minute time frame, like a minute, second, hour, whatever, is on seconds. Every 15 seconds, this is going to get a new candle. Every 15 seconds. So when you're trading light volume, you can do that, but you can see that in 15 seconds, there's a lot of price difference in RTY. If you go to a tick is how many trades are taken in one candle. So if you have a 50 tick candle, it has to have 50 trades, not 50 contracts, but 50 trades. So there's got to be, say, each person traded one trade. That would be 50 people with one trade each. So that's how it would go. See you, Dave. Appreciate you being here. So on the tick to minute, it really kind of depends. You can kind of play around with it back and forth. I don't stick to just one particular thing. I just kind of look because every day is different to follow that. So to look at this Ranger indicator, let's go back to the Australia time. Australia time, if we did a 15 second, our entry would be right here, and our exit would be right there. There's $65 that you made tonight on this if you would have done it. Now the problem at nighttime on the Australia is there's not enough data there to really support trying to trade it. You're almost, and we're going to get into this another time. I still have some studying to do on it before I try to teach it. But you can go from pre-market highs to lows and trade that way. And if you have a good indicator that will work with that, like on this one here, the Profit Finder works great. It works very, very well. If you went to, say, a 50 tick, then you can see how this come down, come up, and then you can enter right here. So the people that have the Profit Finder indicator know that your entry would actually be right there, and your exit would have been right there. There's $225 that you could have made on that one trade. And then when you opened, the people that have the Profit Finder indicator, when you opened right here, and then you pull back up into here, then right there will be your entry, and your exit you would either take down here on the bottom, but the actual exit would be right there. So there's $90. So you would be up $315 if you were trading the Profit Finder by itself. Now if you add, I don't want to add too much on the chart, but if you did add the Profit Finder bars, let me find it here, right there. If you add the Profit Finder bars, then if you are wanting to go short here, and it's red right here, you have to have two red down here in order to take a short. In order to get out, your exit is always right there above the Profit Finder. Now, when it's coming up and then it come back down and it's not moving, you might exit a little bit sooner, but the strategy is to exit right there at the top of that bar. But you only enter that from here. So on this one, our entry was here, but see you have all the red, so we would not have even entered that trade because we have all red down here. You have to have two green down here with one green here to go long. So in this particular strategy, you wouldn't. Well, actually, I'll take it back. You're on a 50 tick up here. This is on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 10 minute, and 15 minute. So this is the wrong time frame for this. So unless you change the time frame, I'm not really sure what it would do here. But if that was on a 1 minute time frame, then this would actually, I've got this set up on this down here set up to where if this is a 3 minute time frame, because I was doing something earlier and I set the default on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute, and it was a 3 minute time up here. So when whatever you're doing up here, you want to do 2 less and 2 more than what this is to get this to work right with it. So if you have 3 of the 5, there's 4 down here, and this one makes 5. So if you have 3 of the 5 are the same color, then you go ahead and take that true. That's how you do it. So let me go ahead and delete some of this stuff off of here. Anybody have any questions on that? I know there's a lot on the chart, but what we're trying to do is figure out what you can do to make you feel better about the trade that you're going to enter to make sure that you're going the right way. So I'm going to turn this one back on. This is the cross. The cross actually is pretty easy to see. If you're looking at this and you have your levels, then you can go ahead and pretty well see that this right here is going to be a short. So when we opened at 8 o'clock and we come down, we come back up, maybe you didn't go short here, maybe you did. If you did, then you went here, you come down. This is starting to tighten up here, and when it starts getting to a point, that's a good reason to get out. But when it comes up, a lot of times the best place to get out is right at the top of that. So there's $110. Instead of waiting on it to turn green, just if it goes above that top EMA, then you just go ahead and get out. And then on this one, as far as getting in long, maybe you do, maybe you don't. When it goes up, we all know that we wait on the pullback to get back in. When it goes up, maybe you have your entry here, and then maybe you stay in it until it turns red. As soon as you get a candle that comes below it, that is really the strategy. So there's $55. But if you put your stop down here, just above break even, you'd still be in it, and you keep on going. The problem with this one is when you have that big of a pullback, it's hard to stay in that trade because you will think that it's going to go ahead and pull back on you. So when you see that, you go ahead and get out. And then if it goes back up, you can always get back in. And that's the big thing with trading. This one here, you can go ahead and put your buy order in there. And then when you go up, you come down, that one's fine. And then right there, you get out again. So there's $85, $65, and $110 that you would make based on the strategy. Okay, that's based on the strategy. And now right now, the only thing we have in here is the pre-market high, which is actually down here. And then when this comes up, the pre-market high will be here. And then our pre-market low is here. So really, you're trading against resistance. That's all you really have other than the previous day high and low. Any questions? We are right at an hour, and I try to keep these at an hour. Tonight, the discount will be on the Ranger, Cross, the channel, and I'll put it on the Profit Finder as well. That's going to be tonight. Let's see here. I did not do the coupon, so let me do a coupon right now. Bear with me. And I can go in there and let's see here. You're all going to laugh about this coupon. We're going to call it, let's see, the Y. I always do a 20% off on the webinar. And let's see here. They always expire midnight of the same night. And let's see here. Products, we're going to do the Ranger. The Ranger, in my opinion, is the best indicator I have because it works with everything. And let's see, remember, so I'll put it on there, and then we're going to do the channel. Channel drawing tool, and then we're going to do the Profit Finder. So we'll do Profit Finder, and then we're going to do the bars, and then we're going to do, I'll do the one where it's a Profit Finder and bars combined. So I've got the Ranger indicator, I've got the SpotBot Profit Finder and Profit Finder bars as a package. I've got the channel drawing tool. We talked about that. I've got the Profit Finder bars by itself, the Profit Finder indicator by itself, the Ranger, and the cross. So I'm going to put the cross indicator on there for NinjaTrader. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. And in the chat, I'm going to put the coupon. So there you go. Because it was tonight. It felt good. I'm glad I drank it because I tell you what, I had a rough afternoon. So there's your, let's see here. And then the link, let's see here. If we do, I usually have this ready. I guess it must have been the wine tonight. I went down and cooked. Let's see, .com training. Let's see here. Where is that? I need to just put that on my website. That'd be much easier. If I go down to pages, it's going to be the same link I've been using. Sorry about this delay. Let's see, we do. Almost there. Get ready to send you the link. Copy, and then I will put this right in here. It's not there yet, but it's coming. So I'm going to go ahead and put the video will be in that link I just sent you. It's the same link I've been using. I'll go ahead and post that in there. I'll add the other indicators to it so you can find them real easy. 20% discount tonight. So that should help you. That's through midnight tonight. For some reason you have trouble with it or something, send me a message on the contact page. And that is right here. If you go to the contact, click on that. And then there is where you put your information. And as far as the training tonight, I'll put it here at the top. There'll be a video. It's got the past videos of other things. It's already got some of the indicators on here. I'll add the channel, the cross, and the Profit Finder and so forth. Put those on there. So if you don't have those and you're interested in them, you can purchase them there. If you have any questions about them, just let me know. And then I'll do my best to help you out. I'm going to kind of probably take it easy the rest of the night. I'm tired. So I'm going to get me some rest tonight. And hopefully get some sleep, good sleep. And I'd like to get up to where I can go ahead and trade the London market tomorrow. It's hit pretty good. With having that big drop today, we will probably range all night. And if we range, maybe it's not going to be any good. If we go back to right now and look at this on a higher time frame, say a 5-minute, and we can see that we had that big old drop. And right now we're just going sideways. So if we look on this one, remove the drawings, we're pretty much going sideways right now. So we may stay that way. There's also a good chance we may go ahead and rage back up. Anytime we have this drop like this, like yesterday we had a big drop, then we raged all day, then we dropped right back down pretty much to where we opened yesterday. And so there's a good chance we did make a higher low. Making a higher low here compared to here, there's a good chance that we may go ahead and go right back up tonight. This was all based on news, they say, but we all know this was news to go up and this was news to come down. This is just a way for everybody to make money. And hopefully you all did. But you can see our downtrend is right here. This is coming down. So we come down, we went up, we went right up. There's a good chance we may go ahead and sell off here. But part of me thinks that we will go right back on up. I don't know. But you can see if I take these indicators off, let me just delete them all. And we put this on. And then we go ahead and put a, let's do a 1 hour chart. So right now we are looking to go probably in this area right here. It's probably where we're going. So we're probably going to go up to this area on RTY. And as far as the channel goes, we can look at our channel. We already hit this one here. So let's just say we come down and we went to about right here. We broke that channel, so now we come back over. And now we're making a new channel. We're kind of going sideways right now. This one actually could go right there. That's more like it. So with this one right here, we're probably going to go right on up to this zone. It's going to take a long time. This looks to be probably the London Open is what we're looking at. So that's going to be, let's see here. There's around 3 o'clock here. So we're probably just going to stay along through here when the London opens. Then we will be probably push up into here and maybe keep on going. So if we look back on it, now this is that's 60 seconds, not 60 hour or 1 hour. Looked at the wrong one. My fault. Might have to start that all over. So right there, and then we've got this one would be there, and then this one, really it looks like right there. And this would not be the right one. I had that on the wrong time frame, sorry. If we go down to Fibonacci, there to there, then we're looking at here to here. It's basically the same chart, just different time frame. And so this one here, we're probably going to go right on up into here. That would put us, let's see what time, what we're looking at. This would be the 17th tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow, we're probably going to range around through here tonight. And then I would say probably tomorrow we'll just push right on up like we did right here. That's my guess. If we go back to a 15-minute, or that's, I keep hitting second. And there's a 15-minute. So if we take this one out, and then if we draw this one over here, right there, but you know we're not going to stay in this probably. But if we did, we're still looking several days out if we stayed into that. But I don't think that, I say we probably gap up tonight. That's where I'd say. See you, Tulane. That's where I would say. I'd say that we're going to range quite a bit, and we may just be like a slow grind all the way up. Maybe even through the end of the week. We could easily go right on down. And if we look at that again, we could easily, since we pulled down, we already hit that right there, this zone. So we could easily hit this zone down here. More than likely, we're probably going to sell off again. We've sold off all week. So if we take this back to 60, we've stayed in this range right here the whole time. So staying in this range, this zone, we've just kind of just went back and forth. We went up and hit it again. We're trying to come up again. We did make a higher low, which makes me think that we're probably going to go back up to that zone again. So if we go back up to this zone again, see tomorrow's Thursday, so once we hit that, it depends. If we make a lower high right here than this one, if we just come up and hit it, we're probably coming down to here on Friday. So that I think that's where we would end up being. Well, guys, I'm going to call it a night. If y'all have any questions, let me know before we get off here. Anybody? I'm going to stop the recording.